Hi everyone and welcome back to Gymnastics with Rosanna. In today's video I'm going to be taking you through what an arabesque is and some helpful stretches and conditioning exercises to help perfect yours. Let's get started. So for those of you that are unsure, an arabesque is a move that we do on floor, on beam in gymnastics, and you also get it in ballet. So what it is, all it is we're standing on one leg with one behind, pulling tall and lifting to balance. So that's what we're aiming for today. So the first stretch we're going to do is a seal stretch. So for that we're going to place our hips onto the floor and we're going to push up and hold that for 30 seconds, and we're trying to keep our legs together and we're trying to push our hips to the floor and get our shoulders back as far as we can. Next up, we're going to go the other way and we're going to do our snail stretch. So our bum is in the air, our arms are out in front of us, and we're trying to get our armpits towards the floor. Next up, we're going to lie on our tummies with our arms out in front of our legs stretched, and all we're going to do for this one is we're going to just lift our body off the floor, leaving our legs behind 10 times. So we're trying to lift our chest off the floor as high as possible. If you need, put a pillow or something on your feet or get someone to hold them so you're not lifting those up as well. We just want to lift the top half. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we're just going to do the same again, but this time we're going to lift our arms and our feet into our arch shape and back down again 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're doing this because our arabesque isn't only about having flexible legs, it's also about having strength and the flexibility in our back to be able to keep our chest up in our arabesque as well as lifting our leg high. So what else we're going to do is, if you've watched my splits videos, you'll know this one from that, but we're also going to do our pigeon pose hold on both legs. So I'm going to start on my right leg. I'm aiming for that front leg out at 90 degrees and my other leg out behind me, and we're sitting up as tall as possible and also trying to lean out. We'll do that for 30 seconds, off we go. So try, if you're leaning back, we're not just throwing everything back, we're trying to keep our chest up, as that's where we'll be in our arabesque, and then towards the back leg. So you should feel a nice stretch in the back leg hip that you can't see on me currently. And then we're going to swap sides and do the same again. So this time it's our left leg that we're aiming for that 90 degrees, right leg out behind, chest nice and high, and pushing towards that back leg. Make sure as well you're keeping your shoulders square and that we're not leaning one way or the other. we move on to using the chair as a bar to help with some preps of that, we've got one last one on the floor. So what we're going to do is on all fours, make sure your shoulders are over your hands. We're not too one way or the other. All we're going to do is we're just going to practice doing kicks with each leg. So we're going to start with one leg out behind, and all you'll do is going to kick it up as high as possible, and we're trying to keep our hips and our tummy down to the floor as well. So we're going to do 10 on our right and then 10 on our left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and swap legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we're going to move on to standing up. So grab yourself a chair or something similar that you can use to balance. If you've got a ballet bar at home, even better. So what we're going to do to start with is we're going to start in our first position with our heels together, and we're just going to warm up our back and our sides. Because like I said, an arabesque is about using the back, the bend in your back and your tummy muscles. It's not just about leg flexibility. So what we're going to do is I've got my left hand on the bar for this side, and then we're going to swap my right arm tool. So what we're doing is we're pulling up, we've got our turnout through our hips, pulling up the tool through our stomach, engaging our core, head tool. So what we're going to do for this one is we're going to go down to the front, lean to the bar, swap and lean to away from the bar, and then lean back. All the time we're thinking about keeping our back tool, head tool as well. And we're going to do this 3 times on this side, then we're going to swap sides and do it 3 times on the other. So we're going to go down, go as far as you can, keeping your legs straight and everything too, and up. And then towards the bar, make sure your shoulders are square, and up. Swap the arms over and away from the bar, and up, and then back, and up. Make sure the whole time everything's facing front, we're not twisting our hips. And we're going to do that again. So forwards, and up, to the bar, and up. Swap our arms away from the bar, and up, and back. One more time on this side. So to the front, and up, to the bar, and up, away from the bar, and up, and back, and up. I'm going to move my chair to the other side so I'm not facing away from you. But we're now going to swap sides. So my right hand is now on the bar and my left hand is tool. So we're going to do exactly the same thing again, but we're going the opposite ways now. So we're going to go down and up, to the bar, and up, away from the bar, and up, back, and up, to the front, and up, to the bar, and up, away from the bar, and up, and back, and up. Last time, so down and up to the bar and up, away from the bar and up, back and up. So I like to make sure I do things on both sides, just because it keeps both sides nice and even and you don't end up with one leg or one side stronger than the other. That probably stems from the fact that I did ballet as a child instead of gymnastics, but I think it's still something important to learn, to do everything if you can, or try and improve both sides equally instead of just focusing on what you think is your good side. As a child, my left splits were my worst, and now they're my best because I work them harder. So we're going to stay with our bar. I've turned it sideways this time so you can see it. So this time what we're going to do is we're going to do leg swings through front to back, trying to keep your tall shape, trying to keep your hips and your shoulders square, but seeing what height we can get out of our leg with our kicks. So make sure you are going to be far enough away from any furniture that you're not going to kick it. I'm going to start by using my right leg, so that's the one furthest away from the bar. We don't want to use the one that's next to the bar if we can. So I'm standing in first again, this time I'm out to the side, and I'm going to start with my foot in front and we're just going to do 10 kicks front to back in total. Off we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to go round to the other side. So make sure with these as well, like with everything else, we're always trying to keep our chest tall. When you kick forwards, we don't want to be dropping, we want to be pulling up high as we can. So we're now going to do the same on our left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we're going to start moving on to our arabesque itself. What we're going to do to start with is we're going to have a go doing it with the chair or the bar, whatever you've got, as a way of balancing before we put our proper arms in. So I'm going to do it on both sides with you. So we're going to start this side with our left leg is going to be on the floor, our right leg is going to be our arabesque. So just resting your fingers on here. From your first position, you want to point your right toe behind. Now before we even lift our leg, we want to make sure that our weight is over our toe. So if you're standing on here and your weight is back, you'll find that you either can't lift your leg or you'll fall straight over because your weight is over your heel. So we want to be making sure our weight is over our toe. So we should just be able to lift up onto that demi point from here. So once you've worked this out, so we're on our weights forward, front legs turned out, back legs pointed and turned out. So we don't want our toes flat, we want the bottom of our big toe on the floor. We're going to have a go at lifting our leg. So it doesn't matter if when you start your foot is down here. What's important is that you've got your foot off the floor and your weight is still over that front toe. Making sure our chest is up. It's helpful to find yourself a spot in front to look at. Don't look at the floor because then you tend to go down. We want that chest tall and lift. Make sure as well that you're pulling up through the supporting ankle. So you want to be pulling up tall, not letting that roll in. I don't know how well we can see that. So we don't want to let our ankle be rolling in, we want to be pulling up tall through it. So just get yourself practiced at even lifting off a little bit. Make sure you can raise, lifting a bit higher while still keeping those hips and those shoulders square and that chest up. As you feel more comfortable with this, you can always get to your arabesque and try taking your other hand off the bar. So then we're going to do the same on the other side. So if you prefer to arabesque with your left leg, so right foot's closest to the bar, make sure your fingertips are on, pulling up through everything, left leg goes behind, and then just practice lifting it. See if you can transfer your weight up onto your toes because we're not over our heel, leaning back. So we're nice and tall, and then we can get our leg higher while lifting our chest high. I like to think of the furthest you know you can go is you sort of feel a pinch across that bottom bit of your back. So if you've got to here and you're not really feeling it, try lifting a bit higher. So I get to about here and I can feel that pinch across the middle of the back, so I know at the moment that is my limit for that one. So next thing is a little bit of conditioning. So before we try our arabesque in the middle of the room, we're just going to do a little bit of conditioning for leg strength to make sure that we are lifting tall and we've got the strength in our leg muscles to be able to hold our leg up that high if we want to. So what we're going to do is find yourself some space in the room. I like to have my arms out into second because it's a slightly easier shape to help you balance with your arms out to the side. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with our right and we will do our left. Is we're going to lift our leg up as high as you can. Again, it doesn't matter if you start down here, you can build up to being higher. And from there, we're going to transfer it round to second and then round to the back. And the whole time we're trying to keep these hips square and our shoulders square. And we're trying to not, as we go round, dip it. We're trying to hold it out in front, turn it to the side, keeping the same level, and then round the back. So we're going to do 5 on this leg and then 5 on our left leg. So, ready. So lift, side, back. That's 1. Lift, side, back. That's 2. Lift, side, back. That's 3. Lift, side, back. 4. Lift, side, back. That's 5. So now we're going to swap legs. We're doing it with our left leg this time instead of our right. What I forgot to mention is, again, we're starting in that first position and we're trying to make sure we're pulling up through that ankle, not rolling it in. So left side, lift, side, ooh, back. That's 1. Not as my good side, I don't think. Lift, side, back. 2. Lift, side, back. That's 3. Lift, side, back. That's 4. Lift, side, back. That's 5. So now we've completed that, we're going to have a go at your arabesque in the middle of the room. If you're still not very comfortable with this, if you're still finding it hard to balance, go back to using a chair to help you balance. And you can do the thing we did before, where you have your fingers on it and then you try and lift them up. So, first up, we're going to do our right leg behind. So we're going to start in our first, Our right leg points behind. So some of you might have arms to second, some might have them in your arabesque. So just remember it's the same arm as leg that's in front. And this side arm isn't completely square, it's not completely back, but it's slightly behind the 90-degree angle. So from here, we're keeping tall, make sure your weight is over your toe. You're going to lift your leg up, keeping your chest, pulling up nice and tall until you feel that pinch. And then on the other side as well, so starting your first, foot goes behind, arms out, make sure your weight is over your toe, and then keeping everything tall, lifting your leg up until you feel that pinch. And then just keep practicing that until you're happy with the height and with your balance. I hope this has helped everyone. See you again soon.